Hello, and welcome to FBI's Facebook Live. My name is Stephanie Shark. I'm a supervisory special agent in the FBI's Counterterrorism Division. We are here today to talk about Women Who Rise, stories of trailblazing women in the FBI. I will be your moderator, and I'm here on behalf of the Women's Advisory Committee. We are one of several committees who work and engage within our FBI cadre and executive management to ensure that policies and practices represent all persons in the FBI and that we are fulfilling the mission to the best of our abilities. The Women's Advisory Committee specifically focuses on issues relating to gender equality, career enhancement, mentoring, and work-life balance. Together with the other committees, we help create a workforce that is both diverse and inclusive. As part of your communities, we also want to better represent all of you in order to work with you and serve you better. For you viewing us right now, please feel free to submit your questions using the hashtag FBI Live, and be sure to tag a friend so that they can watch the broadcast as well later on. As the criminal and national security threats against our country evolve, the FBI adapts to counter those threats. I am joined here today with three of my colleagues who have been an integral part of this process: Christine Halverson, Dina Corsi, and Rhonda Glover. Good afternoon, ladies. How are you today?
Hi, great. How are you?
Thank you for being here. Would you mind please going down the row and introduce yourselves to our audience and let them know what position you play in the FBI?
So I'm Christine Halverson. I'm a Deputy Assistant Director in our Counterterrorism Division.
And I'm Dina Corsi. I'm an intelligence analyst, and I run the intelligence program within the Counterintelligence Division.
Good afternoon. My name is Rhonda Glover. I'm a supervisory special agent, and I am assigned to the Human Resources Division, overseeing the professional development program.
So clearly each of you has risen to a very high level in your career professionally, but it didn't always start that way. Rhonda and Dina, it's my understanding that both of you started in more of entry-level positions. Can you share that with our audience a little bit?
Sure. I started in the FBI at an entry level on the switchboard. And initially when I started with the position, I really didn't care for it too much. But I really started to see value in the position going through a shift. And when my mind shifted and when I showed up a little differently, opportunities started to open up for me. And I was just so excited about that. So I just continued to move on to different positions. I was a photographer. I became an investigative specialist, and then I became a special agent with the FBI.
Wonderful. How about you, Dina?
I started as in a clerical position right out of high school, and really part of my goal here was to get a college education. I really wasn't quite sure what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I came in an entry-level position. The Bureau helped me to get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. And I really had my eye on an analytic position. I love data and I love researching, and so I went into that field. And as the organization changed, I had an opportunity to lead that program into the position that I'm in today as a Deputy Assistant Director for Intel.
Wonderful. Now, Christine, you've had a different path. And currently, you are one of our trailblazers in that you created the first terrorist use of the internet squad. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got to that point?
Sure. So I was a special agent in our New York office at the time of 9/11, and it really severely impacted me personally, as it did thousands of people in this whole entire country. I lost family members as well as friends. And at the time, I was actually working in our cyber program. I was a computer science major in school, and at the time, we actually didn't even have a computer science track like we have now, which is obviously very important to our workforce. And after 9/11, I decided to change my career, which is a great opportunity in the Bureau, in the FBI, that you can change direction, and I went to our Counterterrorism Division. And utilizing my background, realized that there was a gap in technology in the Counterterrorism Division, and I was able to bring my experience to that to form a terrorist use of the internet program.
Did you find it was difficult when you identified a gap to address it internally?
Not at all. That's why, we want people who are innovators. We want people who want to change and make the world better. And anytime you have a new idea and it's exactly where we need to go and what we need to do to fill that gap, you fully get the support of the whole organization behind you to do that. And that's at least been my experience in my over 20 years here.
Yeah, I mean, we evolve. This organization, the history that it's had, it has been through a number of evolutions, and we continue to evolve today. Our number one priority is ensuring that we have a diverse workforce, whether that's across work roles or the people that are filling those roles, to ensure that we can properly protect the same diverse nation that we're a part of. So when you see those gaps, when you see areas that need to be changed and need to be filled, the Bureau responds to those types of things. And fortunately for people like us, where we want to be the best we can be, we're the kind of people who rush into those gaps, So I think that's probably a theme that we all share.
It's so great to be in a meeting and have different viewpoints and different opinions on a topic. And sometimes they're heated discussions, but you always come out to the same resolution on the mission is important and let's just get to the mission.
Absolutely.
But you get all those different viewpoints of how it's going to impact things overall, and you're able to take that all into consideration when making your decisions.
And just to add to that, the FBI has been real intentional about diversity and really ensuring that we are really focusing on having a diverse workforce, because
Both
it's
in mind and in body.
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, because that's important. It's important
Right.
for the agency to reflect the community that we serve.
Well, if you are just joining us today, welcome to the FBI's Facebook Live. My name is Stephanie Shark. I'm a supervisory special agent in the FBI's Counterterrorism Division, and I'm here with 3 female executives from the FBI. Please feel free to submit your questions to us using hashtag FBI Live, and be sure to tag a friend so that they can watch the broadcast later. We were talking a little bit about adaptability and diversity of thought and in bodies and everything like that. And Christina had mentioned how she was created a new squad. Now, when you came into the Bureau, Dina, did your position exist? And then how did that happen?
Yeah, no, there
The
are
trailblazer.
Yeah, trailblazer. So there were only a few hundred analysts. I also was very deeply affected by 9/11. I was working counterterrorism at the time, and the impact on me was significant. And I saw lots of places where those gaps exist where we could do a better job. And so I had a mentor who is still an important part of my life today. He's retired now, but I still call him periodically. He basically said, look, if you want to make change, you have to be part of that process. You have to, put yourself in that place. So a mid-level management position, they decided to create in a field office to lead the intelligence program. I raised my hand, and I was the first person to be selected for that. It was difficult. Being first at something, I think, is difficult. When you start something new, it's difficult. But when you succeed, you feel that sense of accomplishment and pleasure. And so I had the opportunity to do that. And by the time I moved through that, they eventually created executive management positions in the FBI for intelligence analysts. So I feel, as I said, humbled and grateful to be part of that process and to have led the way there, and hopefully to have created those opportunities for people who are going to be way smarter than me and way more capable than I am in the future to hold these jobs.
Well, I don't know if I can say that's true, but I think we may have a question from the audience. Oh, no, if you're joining us, welcome to the FBI. My name is Stephanie Shark, and I'm a supervisory special agent in the FBI's Counterterrorism Division. And I'm sitting here with 3 FBI executives. Please feel free to submit your questions using hashtag FBI Live and tag a friend so that they can watch the broadcast later. So I know I'm not the first person to ask you this question, Dina, but did you ever get any pressure or feel pressure internally to become an agent instead of just staying in an analytical career path?
Yeah. The special agent job, I think, is well known nationwide, worldwide, as the sort of front and center position here at the FBI. And so when I joined, a lot of people said to me, "Hey, you should become an agent." And I sincerely thought about it. I was flattered to even, be thought of as someone who could fill that role. And I proceeded through the process. I took the tests and had a class, waiting on a class date. And I really sat back and thought to myself, what is it that you like about that job? And it was the problem-solving part. I'm a problem solver. But I can do that as an analyst, and I really enjoyed doing it as an analyst. But there was a greater commitment that had to be made as an FBI special agent to the action aspect of it, the willingness to serve in any capacity as an FBI agent anywhere in the country. And I really realized that wasn't really my hope and my dream. I really felt like I could serve the thing that I love the most by solving problems, doing that research, and doing that writing as an analyst. And I stayed in that position. And I think there are a lot of ways that you can contribute in this organization, you know, as a special agent, as an analyst, as a nurse, as a public affairs specialist, as an aerospace engineer. So there are, every opportunity you can think of is here in the FBI if you want to join.
And that's really one of the big positives for the FBI. Just so many different types of opportunities that you can, you know, you could get involved in. You could be in one position one day, and then you could
Absolutely.
see something that you're interested in another day, and just really position yourself for something new and different, and just do different things throughout your career.
And learning all different skill sets.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
From
Right.
evidence recovery,
Right.
to photography,
Right,
as
right,
like you
right.
talked about, you know, and traveling overseas, and you know, our LEGAP programs overseas that we have as well, and helping, you know, with our foreign partners and the relationships there, and with all our other government partners.
Yeah.
Our budget people, our facilities
Oh,
people.
amazing.
I mean, those people that never get seen by anybody, they're the unsung heroes in a lot of cases of this organization.
Absolutely.
And so if you have a skill set, we have a place for you here in the FBI, and you can serve the public.
Yeah, everybody has a role. Everybody has a role. Everybody contributes to the mission of the FBI. Everybody.
And that's the one thing, right,
Right.
about the culture here is everybody believes in that mission.
Yeah.
And that's what pulls us together as that FBI family, is that mission to
Absolutely.
protect the American public.
Well, why don't we take a question from our audience? Janeka asks, what is it like joining the FBI as a woman? So, does anybody specifically want to address that? I guess, how is it different than being a man in the FBI?
So I actually wasn't, unlike Rhonda, my dream wasn't to come into the FBI. My dad's the one who convinced me to do it. I originally wanted to be a veterinarian. And then majored in computers. So, and I kind of just applied because my dad asked me to apply. And once I got to Quantico, it was an amazing experience. From that day I walked in through those doors, I said, this is exactly where I need to be. And the experience is the same, you know, through training is the same, and through your experience are the same, and you bring a different, again, viewpoint on things. As long as you're a hard worker and you want to work towards the mission and you want to keep improving yourself as a person, you're going to keep improving the organization as we continue to evolve, you're going to be successful, no matter if you're a man or a woman.
Right. And you have to really get into the cases just like all the other agents. All agents get into the cases. It's no different than being a female agent getting into the cases and working hard and really just showing up in excellence and doing your best. And that's the important thing.
Right.
That's the important thing.
I mean,
doing
I
your
started
best.
out my career after I graduated from Quantico, I went to the New York field office, as I said earlier, and my first squad, I worked on a gang squad. So I had never, you know, I grew up on Long Island in a suburb. We didn't have gangs in our neighborhood at the time. So this was my first experience into, you know, working with gang members and getting to know their problems and what was going on with them, and working in a very violent neighborhood. There were very violent neighborhoods that we were trying to help and rejuvenate. And I will tell you, when we did do that, and when the citizens came out, and you would have moms coming up to you saying, thank you for making my neighborhood safe so my children can walk down the street and go to school safe, that is so rewarding. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, work-life balance isn't just an issue for women. It's an issue for anybody who has anybody in their life, whether it be parents, children, other family members, friends. How do you guys balance, or what is your feel about the work-life balance in working for the FBI? Since we are a 24/7 operation.
Yeah, 24/7. Yeah. So for me, I am married to an agent. He is a phenomenal dad and phenomenal husband, and we juggle both careers. I have 2 children, and you know, some days the job takes more time out of me, and sometimes the family takes more time out of me. But you're always there for your job. You know when you have to be there, but there's days that you can flex your hours in order to be there for your family, and days that your family might have to flex a little bit for you. But it's not easy, but it's not easy for anybody.
Right.
Right? It's not easy
Yeah.
when you have ailing parents and you have to take
Yeah.
care of them as well, and that's another,
Yeah.
aspect to
But
this.
the Bureau really shows up for you in those situations. And I took care of my parents for a long time. My mom was very seriously ill for a while. My father passed away very unexpectedly. And try not to get emotional. But the Bureau shows up for you at that point in time. And, they make accommodations. And again, you show up, you do your part.
Right.
You support the mission and they'll support you. And in that particular position, they gave me the opportunity to work closer to my mom for a period of time so I could be there for her. So it's all about the balance, but nobody forgot about me. So when it was time to come back, when I was ready, they're like, okay, here's your next problem to solve. So I was grateful for that. And I think that's really probably the best thing about being part of the FBI,
Yeah.
is it's a second family.
Yeah, for me, it's interesting. We all have different stories of support. And I remember I was in a very bad car accident, and I was out for 2 months. But when I was in the hospital, I had so many people coming by. And the hospital had to call the office to say, please stop calling. They had to tell the field office, stop calling. She's okay. She's okay.
Let her rest.
Right, yeah. And it was, when I heard that, it just really touched me. But, the visits and how, the agents on my squad just had my back and just really supportive. And everybody in the division just really supportive. And that's one thing. We really know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
We know how to show
Yeah,
up for one
absolutely.
another.
One of the
Well,
best
that's good
things.
because we not only protect the community, but we look out for each other.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
If you are just joining us, welcome to the FBI's Facebook Live. My name is Stephanie Shark, and I'm a supervisory special agent in the FBI's Counterterrorism Division. I'm here with 3 executives who are talking about trailblazing efforts in the FBI by women. Please feel free to ask us a question at hashtag FBI Live, and don't be afraid to tag a friend so that they can watch this broadcast later. So women in leadership, we're growing, we're aware of it, we're focusing on it. How do you feel your leadership has impacted or influenced the FBI?
So I think for me, it's seeing the people that I had either supervised or led or mentored exceed, the positions that they were in, and to make bigger impacts on the organization. And not even, they may not even want to go into management role. They may not even want to, choose to rise up the ranks.
Yeah.
They may just, in their position, actually affect change and affect us to be a better organization, to evolve to what we need to be. And those are the proud moments, kind of like a proud mother,
Right.
Yeah.
or father,
Yeah.
for some, I think. And that's what is
Yeah.
the success for me.
Yeah, I mean, I have to echo that. I think, I'm as I've said, very flattered to have achieved the formal leadership position that I have, but I really take home with me more at night the way I've had an opportunity to work with other people. Sometimes it's just a matter of instilling confidence in them. You see something in them that they don't see themselves.
Right.
Taking those moments when they're not at their best to be able to sit with them and say, what do you need? How can I help you out? Because I know there's something going on here. And so those informal opportunities, the things that aren't part of any of our job descriptions, are the things that I really feel like my leadership will leave in more of an enduring impact than anything that's part of my formal job.
And I notice you're definitely speaking Rhonda's language.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
she's the
Oh,
queen
yeah.
of mentoring.
Oh,
So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about how that operates within the Bureau.
Well, the Bureau we have several different mentoring programs. Different divisions have mentoring programs, but the key thing is we have mentoring. And mentoring is just very, very important because having a mentor, that individual can help you get to where you want to go. They can help you get out of your own way, right? You're connecting with, when you see something in someone and you just want to share with them and let them know that, yes, you can do this, and this is what you need to do. And this is how you need to get there. And so that's what I've had several mentors throughout my career, and I mentor people on a regular basis because I see so much in so many people. And I just love downloading and just impacting and just helping them get out of their own way. And so that's an investment in people for me, to invest time and just invest the effort and just to see people grow. in the bureau in different positions, and just watch them go higher and go higher.
And sometimes mentoring is not even a long term.
Right.
So I know that we have a women's speed mentoring sessions
Yeah.
that's set up, and I actually was able to participate in one about a year ago, and I met a woman here in the Bureau who had 34 years with the Bureau, which is amazing. And she was still looking on how she could improve herself and finding something new and really evolving. And I sat down with her for all of 15 minutes, and she contacted me 3 months ago, and she said, I've done it, I've gotten to where I want to be next. And thanks to you, she's like, I just needed that little push. And it was just so amazing, you know, to know that it was only 15 minutes, but she took that and it, you know, reinvigorated something in her, and took that and blossomed
It's
in that
fantastic.
one moment. So, and then came back to me and told me, which made me feel even better.
Right, exactly.
So, for all the women or potential, you know, FBI employees sitting at home, what would you tell them about what it's like to work for the FBI and if they should apply or not? If you're sitting at home and watching us and thinking, is this the right career for me? What's your response?
You want to start from your...
Well, the first thing that came to mind is don't quit. Don't quit. Invest in yourself. Don't quit. If it's something that you want to do, you figure out how to get there. But don't quit. Keep going. Don't quit. Yeah.
I mean, being part of the FBI has no question changed my life. It gave me many things that I know I would never have had the opportunity to do before. So what I would say is if you want to be part of something that's bigger than yourself, that leaves a lasting impression on people, this is the place to be, because there's just so many ways to do that through those individual contacts, to see people do better and more through the protection of your community. And the protection of our Constitution. So, so if you have that drive in you, you can come here and be just about anything you want to be and fulfill all of those things.
I think what I tell people when they're asking, should I join the FBI, you have to do what you love.
Yeah.
And in the FBI, we have so many different areas where you can find to do things that you love. And again, it's all about that one mission. And if you believe in the mission, you want to protect people, as Dina said, and you want to do good in the world,
Yeah.
you know, in an organization that is its mission every single day, then this is the place to be.
And as it relates to women, do you have any hopes for where we'll be in 10, 20 years, 30 years? For the future?
There'll be more of us. There'll be more of us. Yeah.
Before we conclude our session today, let's wrap up with a question from the audience. Tanya Lynn asks, what advice would you have for a high school student with aspirations to join the FBI?
So I talk to high schools a lot. Tanya, the one thing I can tell you is pick good friends. Because if you pick good friends and you pick people with the same beliefs and values you have, you won't get in trouble.
Right.
So if you pick good friends and stay with those good friends, you will be able to succeed in whatever you do.
Yeah. It's a balance, right? When you're young, there's pleasure to be had in your high school and your college years. And I'd say things are very different now than they were when we all grew up. Facebook, all these things make unfortunately every little thing amplified in life.
Yep.
So I think that's great advice. Pick good friends. And if you have an idea that you want to do this, then understand that that's going to be part of that sort of decision calculation moving forward, because the FBI recruits the best of the best, and so you want to make sure that you still fall into that category. A lot of people ask me about pursuing criminal justice careers when they go into high school. As we've said, I think many times now, that is unnecessary.
Yep.
Study what you love,
Yes.
and you will
Absolutely.
find a place here in the FBI.
And if you study what you love, you get good grades. When you
Yep,
study what you
exactly.
don't love, you don't
Right,
get good grades because
right.
you're forcing it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have to co-sign with you on that. Yes, just your major should be reflective of what you want to do, because there are different different majors out there. We're looking for folks that have a computer science background, that have that physical science background, law degrees, yes, business, different
Language.
yes,
Languages,
language. Just
engineers,
bring different type of
engineers,
skills
yeah.
to the table, And that's what we need. That's what we need here in the FBI.
Yeah.
Just be the best version of you.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So, absolutely. Well, that concludes our FBI Facebook Live session. Thank you to all our panelists for sharing your stories today. And thank you to Facebook for joining us. Please visit FBI.gov for more stories and information on the FBI or FBIJobs.gov for career opportunities.